All right, we ended up buying the Chevy Colorado zr2. We got it just because the Raptor build is still taking a while. We wanted to go off-roading, but also when we get the build back, it's going to be wide. So I wanted something that's cool and capable as a daily driver, and also something that could be good on tight little trails. So we ended up doing a 3-location review, just extensive, multiple different terrains. This one right here is Razor Road. We brought Joe with us. Later on, he took us over to Anza Borrego, and then we went with another Raptor over to Roarer Flats. We wanted to see how it did in everything, in sand dunes, hill climbs. Nothing was left off the table.
Its drivetrain is what's cool. 4 auto, just like the Raptor. It's got 2 high, normal. It's got 4 high and 4 low, just like the Raptor. There's a giant half pipe of sand we're gonna go through right now, and if it can make it up and down all the walls, some of the trucks, the traction control limits them, so they can't go up. But yeah, if it can make it up and down, it should be a badass little truck. All right, there's everything here in Razor Road. There's these fucked up whoops that I hate no matter what you're driving, but I know this one will be okay. It's got the same approach angle and a slightly better departure angle than the Ford Raptor. So that's why I brought it here too. I knew I could go through everything here. And yeah, we passed all the flat parts already, so now it's whoops. And then after these whoops, we're gonna hit the sand dunes.
Do 4-wheel high.
All right, I'm gonna go all the way up that way, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go into a dune. Follow my lines there, and you'll be fine. Okay. Because it looks fucked, but yeah, it's 100% fine.
Okay, cool, man.
All right. Let's see if we can go up this hill. We're able to in the Raptor. Nothing. Oh man, it's a bad spot. No, you're not buried, but you're close. I think if you turn your tires down, you'll be okay. You want to try it?
Alright, so just so you guys can have some reference, we've been here with a bunch of vehicles. We've been here with our Gen 2 Raptor a bunch of times. It loves this terrain. We've been, well, this Gen 1 Raptor with 37s. We've been here with TRDs, Tacomas, everything. As long as it's a capable off-road vehicle, seems to do fine here. These embankments prove a little bit difficult if you park on them to keep going up. The ZR2 was fine. I could park it anywhere and go up. There was 2 times where I had to back out, but that's just because I thought I could make it up something that I couldn't. It never got stuck though. The reason I wanted to bring it here and test it is because it's got an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's got manual, but the gear shifts are down on the handle, so you got to one-handed if you're driving. But the traction control comes completely off and it holds your gears long. So I wanted to see how it did here, and honestly, it's lighter, more nimble. I'm guessing because of lightweight, it doesn't sink into the sand as much, but you can throw it around easier on the sand than the Gen 2 Raptor. Alright, we didn't do a whole lot more exploring after this. We kind of packed it up. There's some trails here, some rock crawling places, and a dry lake bed, and some large sand flats. You can do high-speed runs. This is pretty good Raptor territory. It's small though, so it's mixed in with everything. But we already knew it does well in Raptor country. So Joe, he's into Jeeps. He has a Jeep as well, and he took us out to Anza Borrego National Forest or whatever it's called. And we wanted to see how good it does in Jeep country, just because it's smaller, more compact. You can do a lot more with it than a normal off-road truck. So yeah, we just took it out there and wanted to see how good it would do.
Or just show me the rims. I've never seen these before. The Black Rhino.
Black Rhino, yeah.
So what, the guy hooked you up with just a promotional discount?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, they seem badass.
These are the Black Rhino Roku.
Yeah.
It's like a new design for 2018. They're at Wheels in Motion, if anybody wants to order them.
All right, so this is Anza Borrego State Park. This is where Joe took us. He's in the Jeep all the way in the back. That's Marcus right behind us. And Joe's got a friend out here named George. He hooked us up. He took us around. He's in a Rubicon. The other ones are Wranglers, I believe, with some modifications. Joe's a little bit more modified, but whatever. But yeah, some of this is flat and open and sandy, and there's washes, but there's also canyons and rock crawling. So I guess this little area right here is called Diablo Drop Off. It's one of the challenging sections right there. Everyone just parks at the top and watch vehicles struggle to make it up or down. Everyone's footage is in fast forward just because climbing can be so slow and coming down, so whatever. I left ours at normal speed though. Everyone else is 2 times speed. Ours is normal, just so you could see how it reacted. The little truck came down fine, came down really fast. Our wives are driving, by the way. So I don't know. I love this little truck. It does everything. It does everything a Jeep can do and does everything a Raptor can do. Honestly, a Gen 1, this truck does better than a Gen 1. A Gen 2 is the one I wanted to compare it to because a lot of people are calling this little truck a baby Raptor. Obviously, it's not a Raptor. Raptor is the most badass truck out there, especially on the street. But you don't have to pay a premium for something that awesome. I'll go through some of the travel numbers right now, give you guys some perspective of how well it does. It's just how awesome this little truck is and how much value you get for your money. So let's not mess around here. Let's set the bar pretty high and compare it with its travel numbers and horsepower numbers to the Raptor. The Raptor has a curb weight around 5,800 pounds, depending what model you got. We got the heaviest, and this is the biggest ZR2, so let's compare the biggest ones. At 450 horsepower, that gives it a power to weight ratio of around 12.88 pounds per horsepower. The ZR2 is a lot lighter, however. It comes in at around 4,758 pounds. Again, depending what model you got, but we got the biggest one. With 308 horsepower, that gives it a power to weight ratio of around 15.4 pounds per horsepower. So that's a pretty big deficit. That means that the ZR2 needs an extra 63 horsepower to have the same power to weight ratio as the Raptor. But once you factor in tire diameter, everything changes. There's no good formula. I looked it up. Everyone says every size up you go in tires, you'll lose what feels like 17 to 20 horsepower for every tire size you go up. This one's got 31s. The Gen 2 Raptor has 35s. So once you do that wonky unofficial math, you're about 31 horsepower shy. So I don't know. There's no real math for this, so whatever. But you could just do an exhaust upgrade and an intake upgrade and you're good. You're going to keep up with Raptors on the dirt in this thing. On the street, the Raptor's going to kick your ass. But the worse the terrain gets, the better this truck gets and the more it closes that gap. That's a bold statement, so I got to back that up with some numbers. Obviously the size. The more narrow and more technical the trail gets, a smaller vehicle is just going to do better. So that's a no-brainer, whatever. But when it comes to suspension, the ZR2's DSSV shock, they give it, I don't know, a decent 8.6 inches of travel up front and 10 in the rear. The Raptor with its Fox shots has 13 up front and 13.9 in the rear. That's a huge difference until you factor in weight. So let's do some more simple math that I suck at. If you take the travel numbers, add up the front and rear suspension on each truck and divide it by their weight, for the ZR2 you get around 255 pounds of truck per inch of travel. And in the Raptor you get around 215 pounds of truck per inch of travel. So the Raptor's still better. So once you add it all up, it's a little bit shy of a Raptor, but if you're a good enough driver, you're going to keep up with the Raptor because no Raptor owner is going to throw around his $80,000 truck as willingly as you're going to throw around this $40,000 truck.
Ooh, nice clearance right there. Like nothing.
I got to give a huge shout out to Highway Raptor for hooking us up with this footage. This is the very top at Roarer Flats. This is our third location already. And this is his Raptor coming up from a different angle, the same one you guys just saw the ZR2 come up. This truck, he had a little bit of problem, got a little bit of stuck, but he's a good driver. He made it out. I can't believe how good these Raptors are. I can't believe a full-size pickup truck made it through here. I know this video is all talking about the ZR2 and how good it is, but nothing against the Gen 1 Raptors. They're awesome. And the Gen 2 Raptors, I mean, it's amazing what these trucks can do. This is more a bang for your buck video. If any of you know this area, this is the entrance through the reservoir. So this is the very peak before you get to the flat. A lot of people avoid this, go around it. I didn't even know it existed because I avoided it by accident a few times. But yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's just a hike straight up, no messing around. But then you could ride the spine of the mountain the rest of the way down. You could do some more rock crawling if you want, but or you can crawl your way down too. But this is the fun part. This is why I wanted to bring it here. Because in Anza Borrego, I didn't have to lock the front lockers. I had the back ones locked, but not the front. And I knew I had to here. It came up like nothing. Honestly, I mean, this truck's a little tank. It's a little beast. But once you get up there, then I put it in two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and locked the rear. The reason I wanted to do that is because these little mountain roads, they're kind of narrow, and some turns are blind, and you got to share the road, so you can't be going full speed. And I love to get sideways. So to be able to get sideways the way I like and drift as much as I can at a safe speed, you just lock the rear axle in two-wheel drive and you keep it chill and just floor it when you see it safe. And that's the beautiful thing about this truck. This is why it can be compared to the Raptor, because before this truck came out, the Raptor was the most configurable truck on the market, and the little ZR2 is even more configurable. You can lock the rear axle like the Raptor, and you can lock the front, which the Raptor you can't. Also, the Raptor, you can't lock the rear in two-wheel drive. You got to be in 4 high or 4 auto. That means that no matter what the terrain throws at you, no matter who you go with, no matter what type of trail you go with, this little truck always has an answer for it and will get through anything before it has gone through already. You combine that with its other Raptor-like aspects as far as off-road mode, disabling the analog brakes so you can stop faster than most off-road vehicles were meant to do, and also the traction control, how it comes off and stays off in 2 different modes. It really lets you hold the gears in manual, so if you're a good driver, it really lets you exaggerate your abilities. Thank you guys, all of you guys that watched. Please subscribe and like if you liked it. And I gotta give a huge shout out to all my friends that were unwilling participants in this video. Everyone from Joe with his Raptor, with his Jeep, Marcus, George that showed us how to get through Anza Borrego, and Highway Raptor for taking us out. He knew this place better than I did. He's here on dirt bikes all the time. I'll put links in the description to everybody's account and a link for those rims for the Gen 1 Raptor if you guys are interested.